Yo, what's up guys, it's Soul Arts, and today we're doing Osakabahime. So this is a yokai character that I am drawing for my club at the community college, the GAA, the Graphic Arts Association. So we're making, for the people who didn't watch the last video, we're making a little comic book or little sketch ideas that we're turning to like cards for people to, to look and read at. We thought would be cool would be to have yokai creatures or spirits or monsters migrate over from Japan to St. Louis, and they reside in St. Louis, and we have some type of investigator like talking about some of the things that are happening with the yokai migration. So I'm drawing Osakabahime. She ties into the last video that I made, so links in the description, so check it out. She is, in her mythology, she is a fortune teller for the Osaka Castle in Japan. And she would only come out once a year, but no one even knows if she's a she or a he. They just like, it just became a random person that was just like that divined the future of Osaka Castle. But for the purposes of the story, I have made her immortal, so that she has spiritual powers and she's immortal. So after Osaka Castle, I didn't research too much of the lore for Osaka Castle on this time. After Osaka Castle went down and all the people in charge were there, went away or whatever happened to them, she was still there. She was immortal. She was like, time for vacation. So she traveled across the seas, made it to America, saw that the Stifle Theater was being made. Back then it was the Peabody Theater, and before then it had different names. But right now it's a Stifle Theater. You guys should probably check it out. It's in St. Louis. It's a cool place to go. Like lots of big bands, big names have been there. And when it was being built, she saw that she divined that it was going to be a very successful place. So she said, why not make this a safe haven for yokai spirits and everyone else who was just from yokai that just want to be peaceful. Like, it's going to be like a Switzerland. Anybody can go, enjoy the sights, have fun, relax without having fear of being attacked or anything. So she goes into a deal with them. In the human world, the Stifle Theater today is still as popular as it is, but in the yokai realm, is even more popular. So the whole building changed. She became one of the founders on the yokai realm side, and yeah, so it was just amazing. So, and she comes and travels and visits when when it's summer here and sometimes winter over there. I don't know Japan's climate. But yeah, so she likes to travel a lot. As you can see, I made sure to like give her that feeling of richness and royalty on top of being able to still be flexible and movable. Like the coat that I gave her, always like giving like rich characters fur coats. It is always something that I default to because it just shows that luxuriousness of being rich, because they like the furs. For me personally, I just don't like the itchiness. It always like gets right underneath my chin and like tickles my chin hairs, and it's just like, nah, not for me. But overall, like this one was fun. I made this one in the actual size of the card, which I probably should have just made it bigger and then shrunk it down, because now if the card size is bigger, it's gonna look a little bit more pixelated when it bloats up. But if I'm lucky, I might be able to export it out bigger and then shrink it down. So we shall see what the club decides on how big we want our card sizes to be, because if not, I can always just like make this design bigger so that it stands out on its own and then finish the edges off, because it's not too much. Because like later down the road, I put some filters on there, but I can always re-put those filters on and adjust it so that I still get the same result. Because really, it's just the size of her luxurious coat. Oh man, I really love doing that fur coat. That was fun. But as you can see, like sometimes I would stop and then recheck my my anatomy, because I'm trying to get back to doing my anatomy just as well, because while I was learning how to paint, I let my anatomy slip here and there so that way I can learn the painting techniques, which you probably shouldn't do, but whichever works for you to get and learn a new technique is fine, as long as you re-pick up your old techniques that you lost, that you let slide down the way. As long as you like staying constant with it is always great. But this one was really fun. I like the hat that I gave her. I like the fact that she was still had this still spiritual look to her while still feeling very human at the same time. I know one of the biggest problems I had was like doing her hair. I don't know why I struggle with hair so much, but one day I will learn how to do like just great hair. But doing her hair was a fun challenge, like figuring out what hairstyle to give her that would still work, because in the earlier video, the yokai version of the Stifle Theater that I had, she had long hair, so I still had to give her long hair while not making it as thick individual strands like I wanted to. So I did like a bob cut with long strips down the back. It still worked out. I still think it looks pretty great. Another thing that was also pretty fun was like doing the highlights. I didn't know how to paint for like for a couple years, because I was focused on doing line art and doing manga type art. But then I paid for the Ross Cloth, not the Ross Cloth, oh my gosh, the Ross Draws. His Patreon was doing, pretty much a class on how to paint and everything. So I started the class, and then school started. Phone die. Then school started, and then like I'm doing art classes at school, so it was like triple the homework at the time. So I was just like, okay, Ross has to wait. These classes aren't going anywhere. So for pretty much a year and a half, pretty much half a year. There we go, 6 months. I couldn't start the class, but then I finally was able to start it, and then I learned how to paint, and now you see the fruits of my labor, which I am in love with. So overall, this one came out pretty well. So yeah, can't wait to start the next video with you guys. Alright, peace.